A ferocious supercell thunderstorm, described by meteorologists as a meteorological monster, unleashed a barrage of giant, golf ball to tennis ball-sized hail across large swathes of Southeast Queensland late Tuesday afternoon, causing extensive damage to property and infrastructure and triggering a massive emergency response. The storm struck with little warning around 4:30 p.m. local time, rapidly intensifying as it moved eastward from the Lockyer Valley towards major urban centers, including parts of Ipswich, the western suburbs of Brisbane, and the northern end of the Gold Coast. The Bureau of Meteorology had issued several severe thunderstorm warnings throughout the afternoon, but the sheer intensity and size of the hail caught many off guard. Residents described the terrifying experience of being under attack as stones of ice, some reportedly measuring up to 7 centimeters in diameter, hammered down with incredible force. "It sounded like a war zone," said Sarah Jensen, a resident of Springfield Lakes, a suburb that bore the brunt of the storm. "We were just trying to get our cars under cover, but it happened so fast. The noise was deafening, and within minutes, the ground was covered in white, like a winter wonderland, but destructive." The impact of the hail was immediate and devastating. Initial assessments suggest that thousands of homes sustained damage to roofs, solar panels, and skylights. Window panes were shattered, allowing torrential rain that followed the hail to cause significant internal flooding and damage to ceilings, electronics, and furniture. The automotive industry has been particularly hard hit, with car dealerships reporting hundreds of vehicles completely written off due to extensive panel damage and broken windscreens. Emergency services were inundated with calls for help, with the state emergency service receiving over 2,500 requests for assistance within the first few hours after the storm. Insurance companies have mobilized their assessment teams, preparing for a multi-million-dollar damage bill. Experts predict this could be one of the costliest weather events for the region in recent years. "We're looking at unprecedented levels of claims for this type of event," an insurance spokesperson noted. BOM senior forecaster, Felicity Gamble, explained that the system was a classic supercell thunderstorm, a rare and highly organized type of storm known for producing severe weather phenomena including giant hail, destructive winds, and sometimes tornadoes. "The atmospheric conditions on Tuesday were incredibly unstable," Ms. Gamble stated in a press conference. "We had a perfect cocktail of moisture from the Coral Sea, an upper-level trough, and significant wind shear, which allowed the storm to rotate and maintain its intensity for a prolonged period. This rotation allows for a very strong updraft, which in turn holds hailstones in the freezing part of the atmosphere for longer, allowing them to grow to those extreme sizes." Radar imagery showed the storm maintaining a powerful core for over 2 hours as it tracked across the region. In the aftermath, the Queensland community has rallied together. Neighbors were seen helping each other with temporary tarpaulin fixes for damaged roofs, and community centers opened their doors for those whose homes were rendered uninhabitable. Premier Stephen Miles activated disaster recovery funding for the affected areas, promising swift assistance for residents and businesses. "This was a brutal and sudden event, and our hearts go out to all those affected. The state government is committed to helping these communities recover as quickly as possible," he said. Cleanup efforts are now in full swing, with debris littering streets and repair crews working around the clock. Authorities are urging residents to exercise caution around fallen power lines and to document all damage for insurance purposes. While the immediate threat has passed, the BOM has warned that the unstable weather pattern remains, urging residents across Queensland to stay alert for further severe weather warnings over the coming days. The focus now turns to long-term recovery and assessing the full extent of the damage from this historic hail event. A series of very dangerous supercell thunderstorms has battered large parts of Queensland, Australia, in recent days, unleashing giant hailstones up to 9 centimeters in diameter, destructive winds near 100 kilometers per hour, and intense rainfall that have left a trail of significant property damage and widespread power outages. The severe weather events, which began around late October 2025 and continued into early November, prompted multiple catastrophe declarations by the insurance industry. The most intense weather activity has been concentrated in the state's southeast and inland regions, including Brisbane, Ipswich, the Lockyer Valley, Darling Downs, and the Burnett region. The storms were generated by a volatile weather system, including upper and surface level troughs and moisture-laden easterly winds, creating conditions ripe for supercells, long-lasting storms with rotating updrafts. On Sunday, October 26th, a massive storm cell swept through the southern suburbs of Brisbane, generating hailstones reportedly the size of golf balls and cricket balls. Wind gusts of 96 kilometers per hour were recorded at Archerfield Airport, leading to a trail of destruction across the city. Subsequent storms in early November brought even larger hail, with reports of 9 centimeters hailstones in towns south of Toowoomba and in areas like Esk. Videos and photos shared on social media by residents and storm chasers showed ice pellets peppering homes and rapidly blanketing streets, making areas look like winter landscapes. The wild weather absolutely smashed the power network, with more than 81,500 homes losing power at the peak of the events. Restoration efforts have been ongoing, with thousands of households spending multiple nights without electricity. The Queensland State Emergency Service has responded to hundreds of call-outs, with a majority related to structural damage, including broken windows, skylights, and damage to roofs and gutters. Homes have been deemed unlivable in some areas. Insurers have received thousands of claims for damaged cars, with many expected to be written off due to the size and impact velocity of the hailstones. Fallen trees and power lines have created dangerous situations across the affected regions. Flash flooding has also been a concern, with authorities warning drivers to, if it's flooded, forget it. A rugby league match was suspended in Brisbane due to the chaos at Suncorp Stadium. The Insurance Council of Australia declared the events a significant event, which enables insurers to prioritize claims from the affected areas and direct urgent attention to those most in need. The Bureau of Meteorology has warned that Queensland is not out of the woods yet and urged residents to remain vigilant and stay updated with current warnings. Meteorologists have noted a potent setup for further severe weather and have even forecast the possibility of tornadoes in parts of the southeast, driven by the volatile atmospheric conditions. Emergency services advise residents to secure loose outdoor items, move vehicles under cover, and avoid using telephones during thunderstorms. This recent spate of severe hailstorms follows a trend of increasing frequency and strength in extreme weather events in the region. In the aftermath, the Queensland community has rallied together. Neighbors were seen helping each other with temporary tarpaulin fixes for damaged roofs, and community centers opened their doors for those whose homes were rendered uninhabitable. Premier Stephen Miles activated disaster recovery funding for the affected areas, promising swift assistance for residents and businesses. This was a brutal and sudden event, and our hearts go out to all those affected. The state government is committed to helping these communities recover as quickly as possible, he said. Cleanup efforts are now in full swing, with debris littering streets and repair crews working around the clock. Authorities are urging residents to exercise caution around fallen power lines and to document all damage for insurance purposes. While the immediate threat has passed, the BOM has warned that the unstable weather pattern remains, urging residents across Queensland to stay alert for further severe weather warnings over the coming days. The focus now turns to long-term recovery and assessing the full extent of the damage from this historic hail event. The hailstorm caused widespread damage to residential and commercial properties, vehicles, infrastructure, and vegetation. Key impacts include over 11,000 insurance claims filed within days of the storm, primarily for property and vehicle damage. Roofs punctured and windows shattered by hailstones. Flooding in low-lying areas due to blocked drains and intense rainfall. Power outages affecting thousands of homes. Traffic disruptions and accidents caused by slippery roads and poor visibility. Public transport delays due to damage to rail infrastructure and debris on tracks. Residents reported terrifying scenes as hailstones crashed through skylights and windows, forcing families to seek shelter in bathrooms and basements. Emergency services were inundated with calls for assistance, and SES crews worked through the night to secure damaged roofs and clear debris.